Never in all of the 9 realms have I seen a creature as foul as you.
If you're a fan of Marvel, or I guess more specifically the Marvel Cinematic Universe, chances are you are already up to date with the recent announcements from San Diego Comic-Con. That of course being the complete Phase 5 of TV shows and movies coming soon, and later down the line a teaser of Phase 6, the beginning being the Fantastic Four, and the end being 2 new Avengers movies. Looking through these projects, there were a couple of things that did catch my eye, an obvious one being the Daredevil Reborn series, of which I absolutely loved the original show. It'd be really great if they did continue the original series with the Bullseye teaser that we got at the very end of Season 3. But getting back on topic, there was one minor detail about a project that initially I wasn't too fussed about that has me really intrigued, and that is the inclusion of the character Modok in the 3rd Ant-Man movie Quantumania. From various rumours, the character is confirmed to be debuting in this film, and I am very excited to see how he will be portrayed on the big screen. There were a couple of tweets from Total Film stating Modok is confirmed for Ant-Man 3. A preliminary trailer was screened at Comic-Con, which did later leak, of which we have a written summary from Jermaine Lucia. They described the trailer by saying, Scott has written a book about saving the world, the family gives him crap, they then all get sucked into the quantum realm, Kang was there asking, have I killed you before? And Modok was in it. We will likely see this teaser or a better version released to the public later down the line. As for the character of Modok, I've oddly been fascinated by him, of which I learned of this character from his inclusion in a LEGO set nearly 10 years ago. This character does seem to fly under the radar for a lot of people, and looking into his origins, the various depictions of him, especially in animation, the character really has some unique stories, albeit some really strange depictions in recent years.
Quite the big day, sir. They're unveiling the statue depicting the other statue being made to commemorate the even bigger statue of you at the center of the city.
There was one depiction of the character that really did resonate with me, and that is Modok's inclusion in the Marvel Avengers video game. He was the main villain of the Reassemble campaign, and his story is overall quite tragic.
Forgive me. I know I don't quite compare to my holographic counterpart.
Dr. Tarleton?
We see him as Dr. George Tarleton at first, where he seeks to destroy all superheroes to save humanity. Having been exposed to Terrigen Mists, a substance that causes mutation, George is taken ill, falling into a coma for 6 months. Kept alive by his partner, Dr. Monica Rappaccini, she uses an experimental serum that gives him superhuman abilities.
No more heroes. No more mistakes.
It's time for another dose.
I feel fine.
You were in a coma for 6 months. Earlier, you could barely contain your cough.
With various side effects such as an enlarged cranium, his telekinetic powers are enhanced, where he basically becomes what he sought to destroy.
Remember the dream, George.
How could you make me one of them?
The storyline was incredible, and in my eyes makes for the perfect blueprint for this character being depicted on the big screen.
Captain Rogers, we told ourselves Terrigen was going to change the world.
I know. We made a mistake, George.
Don't call me that. George failed. Modok won't.
The tragic backstory is really engaging, and something that I do hope we will see for a more serious take on the character. With the character of Kang now becoming the next established overarching villain of the MCU, I doubt Modok would be the main villain as such for Ant-Man 3. I'd imagine the relationship between these two characters will reflect similarly to Thanos and Ronan in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. If they're going to use content as a form of source material for the cinematic version of Modok, the video game version is the most ideal. He transcends the silly cartoony comic book style and instead becomes more humanized by his tragedy. This version of Modok was really well performed, with the voiceover from Usman Ali delivering a really heartfelt role full of conflict. These mature themes really should be more consistent in the MCU, and in my eyes, it's so much better than the oversaturation of what I like to call Disney humor. From what we currently know, the teaser trailer did show a glimpse of what we assume is Modok. At the 1:06 mark of this video, we see what looks like the top part of his head/helmet. It's really difficult to see, and with this being a trailer leak, that really doesn't help either. I had a look around online and I found this really vague concept drawing of what Modok could possibly look like, and I'm not a fan of this design. If the helmet really does cover his face, this instantly removes a really iconic part of the character's visual aesthetic. I even heard rumours that Corey Stoll, the actor that portrayed Yellow Jacket in the first Ant-Man movie, may be playing this character, and I honestly hate this idea as well. I can understand how they pull this off, where Yellow Jacket's suit was destroyed, causing him to shrink into nothing, so this could therefore result in him being Modok somehow. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that note. Bill Murray is also going to be in this movie for an undisclosed role, and if he is playing Modok, then clearly the studio is going for a more comedic role for this character versus a more serious tone. I'd personally love to see something similar to what we had with Usman Ali portraying the character if it's anything like the video game version. And with that in mind, it's refreshing to see this character reinvented, especially with a complete turnaround making him far more menacing. And in terms of design, this is obviously my preferred choice. If you've seen the comics from the late 60s and the various animated depictions, he doesn't really look like a villain you would take all that seriously. In the video game, by seeing the character's decline from a man mutating into Modok, this was something that really did stick with me. And if you're intrigued by Modok as a character, I would 100% recommend reading into him and playing this part of the Avengers video game in particular. That's going to do it for this speculatory video. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave me a like down below. Comment below what you feel is going to be the future of this character in the MCU, and for more content be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, DVD Review Studios.
Are you threatening me?